Hey guys! Today we have the one and only Volkswagen Beetle Ute. Now, you won't believe what the manufacturers tell you to do to this thing. But before we dive in, we have got to talk about why this is so weird, but so cool. Plus, you'll experience my reaction as we take this thing for a drive. So Volkswagen made this model for a dozen years. And of course, this is a Ute conversion, which is made by Smyth Performance. And he is pretty proud of his creation here because clearly his life goal is to cut a ton of cars in half. Just take a look at this Dodge Charger with a bed. So after buying a bug and the conversion kit, you can just hop on over to YouTube as they literally have a video on how to cut your car in half. So forget Legos. They even hint at this being a fun project that you can do with your family. Because no, of course your daughter doesn't want a Mercedes. She wants a Ute. Believe it or not, when these came out in 1998, celebrities were cruising around in LA showing off the newest, coolest toy. Kinda like the Cybertruck today, but ultimately the bug got squashed in 2019. Starting off with the exterior of the Volkswagen Beetle Ute. Of course, it is a conversion kit like I mentioned earlier, so the whole front half of the car is still the Beetle that we know and love. So we have our big old bug eye, literally, headlights. We have our turn signals right over here and some fog lights down here, also holding that circle shape that follows throughout the car. Our huge Volkswagen logo right there, and our cute little hood that pops open, revealing the little engine bay right there. So moving along the side of the Volkswagen Ute here, this is really where it showcases the bug design with its like bubbly little fenders here, and then as we do the conversion back here, they also pull those and make it just look original, you know? It's super cute. It really puts it back together. And we do have our turn signals right there in the mirrors. And we have a functional step right here, so you can hop up there and get something out of your little bed. So of course with the conversion, they had to move the fuel cap a little bit, so it's like a little bit higher. And this takes Beetlejuice 87 octane. So with the conversion, you do get this whole back glass piece here, which really opens up the inside a little bit more and gives you visibility into your literal truck bed back here. That's so cool. I can't even get over it. And this owner has put Florida Heart of Pine in this truck bed here, which is one of the hardest woods in the world. And it looks super cool. Even has a little paint match going on back here to flow with the yellow theme. And these are the new taillights that this owner put in here. Apparently you can put any kind of little taillights in there, and these just happen to look super cool and really fit the little teardrop design because they are a little teardrop in themselves. And if we drop down right here, you can see the world's probably tiniest reverse lights. Like they're literally as big as a Skittle. And just a few things to note about the whole bed here. This is aluminum, so it's absolutely not going to rust on you, and everything is useful space back here because you do not have wheel wells like intruding on using your truck bed. You can actually fit quite a few things back here, which is really nice because that's kind of what you do this for, right? And getting into the truck bed here, we just have this little latch right in there. It comes down, it's actually quite heavy, but everything just works as it should. Fit and finish is super nice. It just looks nice. It's very low to the ground, like you can just sit, chillax, hang out. And of course, let's see if I fit. And here we are, a nice functioning truck bed in the back of your bug. And I just really love the wood that this owner did back here and the fact that you should subscribe to me. Now, let's go see what powers this bad boy. Now, to get into your little engine bay hood area, there's a little latch on the footwell area of the car that you just pull towards you, and it pops open your hood here, revealing this little cute mechanism, which I've never seen before, and it has a little arrow telling you to pull it. and then it lets you lift this all the way up, revealing your nice stock 2-liter Volkswagen engine. And this little 2-liter engine makes a whopping 115 horsepower and creeps to 0 to 60 in about 10 seconds. So this is the first Beetle with the engine up front. These are front wheel drive, which means you can't really do a burnout in your bug. Now, let's give it a listen. Listen to that little 2-liter go.
I need you to go check out me. I love checking out cars on the side, but I post all of my best content down in the link in the description.
So into the interior here, I really love how it's color matched, like right here and throughout just a little bit. And the owner put in these nice seats from a Turbo S Volkswagen Beetle model. So they even have more color match throughout. And we just have our circle theme that kind of flows throughout this car here. And we have our huge little gauge cluster dash area. Once again, a big circle, and kind of reminds me of like a Mini Cooper being over here instead of like in the middle. We have the tiniest little tachometer right there, and your fuel gauge is so small but circular, of course. And then just in this whole little area, we have just easily functioning, you know, like AC controls, buttons, they just work. We have a very basic but long dash area, and we have this really big windshield, and the windows are pretty big themselves. And adding in this window behind me definitely adds in a whole bunch of natural light into the interior here. And here is the key to your Ute, just your regular Beetle key that has a little flip up key insert thingy there. And just a few more points to note around here. We have our little grab bar right here for when you do get up to that 60+ mile an hour in about 10 seconds. And then the Beetle has this little cute base that's like a built-in almost to the car that you can just put a little flower in. It was literally the point of that. It was such a little cute, quirky thing. And another thing is, it's just, the headroom is crazy in here. It's so high. Like, you don't see that often. This definitely feels like a little bug, a little bubble, if you would say. And I mean, overall build quality is just, I mean, it's fine for the age that it is. Like, I think they did a good job. Like, yeah, it's like plasticky, like, you know, but that was the era. But the buttons feel good, and they just work, like I mentioned. And I mean, overall, it's just so cute. It just feels like I'm in a little bubble here. And a cool thing to note is your time is right up here above your head, so that you always know what time it is. So for storage, you have your little tiny nets on the side here. They're not like so bungee, they're just like kind of stiff and hard in the sides of each of your doors there. You have a little center console spot, I guess. And then a cool feature about this armrest here is you can actually move it up and have this just completely open. There's like a little handle there, and you just push it on down, and there's your armrest back with you. And then we have our glove box in here, which is just your plain plastic glove box. And then we have a couple cup holders there. Some people use this little like handle area as storage. And to move these seats forward, there's a little lever on the side, and it gives you all kinds of storage on your floor area back here. So just a few more things around here. Of course, following with the theme, we have these big circular vents. Everything is just a circle in this thing. And these cool cup holders, they actually move. I don't really know what the point of that is, but it's a cool little quirk. And then we have our big and bulky mirror, and there's like this big old light underneath of it. And moving up, we have a spot for some sunglasses. And then we have our visors there. It has a little slide over mirror and another little light on both sides. And for the window switches, they're like literally flat on the panel of the door instead of like sitting or like laying on the side of the door, which is a pretty neat feature. Now, driving off in the Volkswagen Beetle Ute here. Let's go. So far, I mean, it just feels pretty smooth, honestly. I don't really feel like you have a big old truck bed back there. It's just kind of like I said earlier, you're just in your own bubble. You're kind of, you know, in your own little area right here. Definitely a lot of wind noise in here, you know, kind of like little crackles and things like that. It is an older car, so I kind of expected that, but I mean, this thing just goes. It just definitely is no drag car, track car, you know. It is just a regular little daily driver, and it's a functional one at that, especially with this truck bed on here. I think this is such like a cool little unique thing that just turns so many heads on the road. Like, how many people do you know that has this, or have you ever even seen one like this? It goes around corners just fine. Like I mentioned, like it just doesn't feel like there's anything else back there, even though there is an entire bed behind you. Like, it feels like the back of this car literally cuts off behind your head. So that's such like a cool little feeling. Like, even though there is a whole nother half of car behind you, like, you don't even feel that. And going over this big speed hump here, I mean, feels like a normal car. Doesn't feel like weird or wacky or like kind of off kilter there. Like, it just feels like this car was built like it came from factory like this. Like, it's so cool. I'm so like into this car. Like, it's so cool and quirky, and like it's its own little thing, you know, definitely its own little niche. And I absolutely love all the natural light that comes in this car. Like, yes, the dash is so far away, but like it doesn't really feel like it. And like the windshield is just so big, and like I mentioned earlier, these windows are huge. And I really, really love this back window here because you have a ton of visibility behind you. Like, you can see everything through your rear view mirror. No backup camera needed or anything like that. Like, you can see it all. You can see your whole little truck bed back there. It just doesn't look that big like in your rear view mirror. So like, it'd still be very easy to back into a parking spot or something like that. Like, this is just such like a cool little conversion. It's like so handy, and just anytime you would need to go to the store and pick up anything, like a big bulky item, you just take your Ute. And you would turn so many heads at the hardware store. Every guy in the parking lot would want one of these. I promise you that. And I just absolutely love how this conversion specifically looks super OEM. Like, the owner did such a good job just fabricating everything together to make it look like this is how it came out of the factory. It's awesome. Big props to Smyth Performance for building such like a quality conversion kit, because you see a bunch of kits that are just like kind of choppy, kind of like hard to put together and don't always look the best. But this one, literally the fit and finish is like next to none. It's like super good. It's the best quality, and it's really easy to do. And obviously you get the attention when you drive a Bug to begin with, but since you like drive a little Bug truck, I think you get even more attention because people just look at you and is like, wow, what the heck is that thing? And I think that's exactly what Smyth Performance was trying to do, trying to stand out but also have like a very useful and functional truck bed conversion thing. Now, as you can kind of hear, maybe there's like a bunch of rattles around here, and I think that's just in part from it being like an older car. It is like, you know, a 2000s vehicle, so things are starting to rattle a little bit, but it's okay. You have the Ute, you have the utility Bug here, which is definitely one of a kind. This thing is so cool. I don't even feel like it's back there. Yeah. Like, it's just... And for my 3 favorite features, one has to be the affordability, but that it's also one of a kind. So you could get a donor car for this for like $1.5 to $3K, and then the kit is about $4,000. So you're in it under $10,000 already, and these sell for about $15,000 to $20,000. So you're not like upside down in anything. So it's a great deal and a super cool car. 2 has to be just all the natural light in this car. I didn't expect that, especially the little back window. It really helps and the visibility is very good. 3 has to be just how the kit is put together. It is super good quality and it totally looks OEM. They really thought of everything to make it look like this car literally came out of Volkswagen's line. And for my Riley ranking, I would have to rate this probably an 8.1 because I mean, just look at it. It's super cool. Everybody turns their heads, really catches attention, and you have a Beetle that's also utility and just works, right? But it is an older car, does have some rattles, not as fast, you know, it doesn't ride the best, but you really don't feel that truck bed on the back of this thing. So, I mean, overall, it's just a big head turner and is super duper cool. And if you thought this car was cool, you have got to go check out the others that I have reviewed. So Volkswagen made the windows in my hair. You'll get to experience firsthand. Hang on. I don't just have monologues in my head to say. These are for front wheel drive. Wow, I'm falling. Hang on. Gosh. And what? And we have all of the space useful. Hold on. And here we go. A whole me. So you'll never forget what time it is. And I just really love these wheels.
Punch buggy.